food choices impact their health by making the connection to agriculture. Learning about how food is grown and produced, and how consumers can make better food choices for themselves and their families, Path to the Plate is all about dispelling myths and misconceptions. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
Hey guys, Connor from the Ticket Stub, and you are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on the Cindy Cochran Show. We're so happy that you're here, whether you're on 106.1 or 104.5 or through the live YouTube feed so you can see us, and are also on Lone Star Community Radio Facebook. We're all over the place. So many platforms, Richard. You know, just amazing. And
I'm surprised you find your way here to the studio.
Now, what does that have to do with it?
Because you have so many platforms.
I'm not talking about the shoes. I'm talking about Isn't that what you call Spotify and all those other things?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
platforms, I guess.
Okay. Are we on Spotify?
I don't think so. I know you're on Apple and Google Play.
Yes.
But
Apple and
that's
Google
for
Play.
later though. Those shows usually take about 48 hours to get on those platforms.
But I remember when it was like a week before we could show the video when we first started streaming.
Yeah, that was a pain.
Yeah. And so we were like on the cutting edge, on the very bottom rung of the row, and we built up to now. Look at how great this is. You have a beautiful picture. That still doesn't take any weight off of me, but it's if you could get those skinny cameras, that would be cool.
We're always trying to invent skinnier cameras for you.
But
So I was thinking what we should have done.
outpacing them.
We should have used the original iPhone camera. That's what we should use for you. So it's just so blurry, you don't really know what you're looking at, and you look so beautiful in it.
because it's so blurry.
Yeah.
You just use your imagination.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's why God starts taking away your vision when you
Yeah.
get older, so that you still look good to each other. That's what I think happened. And then we invented the glasses, so now your vision is, but you can,
Plus, expectation at that time wasn't really high for people. You're talking about when no one bathed and everything, like in the 1700s?
yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, people were kind of used to ugliness. So
Right.
now it's perfection time.
And imagine,
You can become a Madonna. Madonna. Did you see her recently?
no.
Since you became Catwoman?
Oh, no. Does she look really good?
Oh, it looks totally different, that's for sure. I don't think it's positive, but
So she's had some stuff done to her face.
yeah, I mean,
And then next, I want you to go to Sports Illustrated, the new Sports Illustrated, whenever you have a chance. The cover of it.
oh, Martha Stewart?
Yeah.
There you go. Do you see her? That's Madonna.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wow.
What do you think of that, Cindy?
That does look like. Oh my goodness. That's not her.
That's her. Here, I'll pull it up for the audience.
What did she want to
I-
accomplish
I'm
by
not entirely
looking like
sure,
that?
but that's her.
I think it must be you go so far and then you have that done, and it's really a gamble of what you're going to come out looking like, and you think you're going to be back
Well,
in
do
the
you
day.
think do plastic surgery has like a diminishing return on people's like will not to do it? Meaning like, oh, I got my nose done, and then after like 2 years, I'm like, I don't still look right, so I'll get my chin done, and then like, because most people will go like, oh, I really like, for example, me, I have a deviated septum, and my nose literally goes zigzag. So you can look, if you look at my nose, it goes to like the left and right. It looks almost like it's like a minorly broken, but that's just the way my deviated septum. And I remember going and the doctor, because I can't sleep that well, and he's like, well, it's considered cosmetic surgery to fix that. Because I remember when I was younger, my mom was worried about me because I had like sleep apnea, maybe like I was prone to it because I would just,
Oh yeah.
because I this side of my nose is closed, so I can't breathe. And yeah, when he said it was cosmetic surgery, I was thinking to myself, it's like, why would that be cosmetic surgery? And then I was like, I wonder what I would look like with cosmetic surgery. Like, it's never even entered my mind that I want to
No.
get cosmetic surgery. But
No.
that's what the insurance people try to tell me. But I think today that's not the case anymore because there's so much, research about
Right.
how bad it is not to be able to breathe.
Well,
It's
sure.
amazing, right? Like they
Yeah,
didn't
it's
realize
better
that.
to breathe, yeah.
And but yeah, it got me thinking about like getting, once you get that first nose job, you're gonna go down the road.
You're hooked.
She's early.
Who are
She's
you
for
talking-
another show.
Oh,
She's with the
for no-
Montgomery Area
Oh.
Chamber.
Oh,
She's on Armando's show.
she's on a Mondo show.
Yeah. You want me to bring her in here? She's really sweet. I think her name's Shannon Reed.
Yeah, she can come in and Mondo go, what happened? You're my guest. You're my guest. He's such a whiner.
He's a whiner. Yeah, Shannon Reed. Montgomery Area Chamber. Yeah, people show up an hour early to be on the air. You know how it is.
Well, and they're so excited, and they want to see if they can beat the host. The Sports Illustrated
You want me to pull it up?
magazine, yeah.
For the...
Women are usually so intimidated by that magazine, but this year,
Are they really? Are they just intimidated by magazines that have women on the cover?
Well, I mean, because all the guys go and they buy the magazine for the articles, and they just want to see all the girls in these bikinis and sexual. Oh my word, what is? That's.
Here, I'll show the audience. It's appropriate.
Yeah, you can see this, and now as a woman, I'm not intimidated by that at all, because it's a guy. It's a trans dude, so.
That's Martha Stewart.
No, there's a trans dude on the.
I was like, that's Martha Stewart, right? Like, when did that happen? I don't even know that happened. Man, Madonna first, now Martha Stewart.
She hung out with Snoop Dogg.
No, you're also facing an industry that is fighting to be relevant.
Well,
because I mean, like,
so was Budweiser. How's that going for you?
They have millions of other beers. Like, no one's talking crap about Michelob, but they're basically sisters.
Yes, true.
So who cares? I mean, oh man, no more Bud Light.
Well, they're not.
It's not. What I was saying, like, that's how simple that boycott is. It's like, oh, we're just selling Budweiser now. Okay, cool. It's just as long as it's not Bud Light. Like, Bud Light's bad. Yeah. But if it's Budweiser, you're cool.
Because he was holding.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. But like, again, the swimsuit. Like, I don't think I've had any friends. Like, have you seen this year's swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated? I don't think I've ever grew up in that generation. I think that's a generation before me that got excited about that.
Your friends were all in gaming, and
well, not even that, but I mean, like, the conversation. Because I imagine what you said is true. Like, the conversation when you're growing up was like, "Oh, have you seen the new guys?" I can see that being a guy thing.
Yes.
Where it's like, "Oh man, the new Sports Illustrated came out, cool."
And
the body issue. Remember the body issues now?
No.
Have you heard of that?
No.
I think that was kind of like the new edition of the swimsuit edition, and it's called like the body edition, and it was all these pro athletes photographed with as much of their body showing in different poses. So, but I was like, why are you like, who came up with this? And it's interesting.
I wonder who.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's like, oh, we're Sports Illustrated. We focus on sports.
Right.
But then when you do the swimsuit edition, it's like, what is there a sports competition in swimsuit wearing?
No.
There's modeling competitions.
Yeah, there's bathing beauty contests.
But I mean, is that Sports Illustrated? Do they cover the circuit of Miss America? Are they on that?
Eyeballs on there.
Well, I know it gets more eyeballs, but it's just funny. Like, that original creator of the Sports Illustrated was sitting there, and someone proposed, like, "What are you talking about? Why would we do that? We're Sports Illustrated. We're supposed to be talking about the Yankees."
Yes, right. That's what it should be. But I think it was it was a good idea because it certainly did the sales, and did the.
It worked.
They got great attention from that.
What's sad about that? Do you think they didn't have confidence in their own product, so they had to like pivot?
No, I think they just wanted to
make a splash,
up the stakes, and and see what kind of backlash they get. And it wasn't. The guys loved it. They thought it was great.
Well, yeah, guys are guys.
Okay, but here's the deal. Is that women did not like the Sports Illustrated when that came out, because that's all the guys talked about.
All women? What about the women in the magazine? I bet they liked it.
They liked it. They were fine with it.
So not all women.
Okay. Excuse me for generalizing.
So you didn't. You can say you didn't like it.
I didn't like that.
Yes, there you go.
Because it was body shaming for everybody else, because they go like, "Oh my word,"
I guess.
That's just, but they don't understand how much. Tricks they can play on that body and make that
especially with
look
Photoshop.
Better. Yes, that's what I mean. Photoshop should be a girl's best friend. But I think that, but for them to do a trans dude, that's brilliant, because I'm certainly not intimidated by that, and I can't wait to see what happens. What kind of backlash they're going to get with it for that. I bet they do. Don't you think they will?
No, I don't think anyone cares about this stuff as much as Bud Light.
What? You think they care more about the Bud?
Yeah, the
beer?
audience of Sports Illustrated is not the same audience as Bud Light.
You don't think so?
No,
Okay. All right.
because
well,
I don't know anyone that reads Sports Illustrated.
I don't think they read it. I think they just look at the pictures.
This is
On the
one.
bathing suit
Yeah,
thing.
but this is one issue out of the whole year.
That they wait for.
Well, that's what I'm saying. No one's paying attention to this.
Okay.
I mean, that's why they had Martha Stewart on the front, because they knew if they put Martha Stewart in a bathing suit, people were like, well, that's weird. And then she's like, oh, she looks beautiful.
Yes.
So now Cindy's getting body shamed at 81 because that's how old Martha Stewart's. Like, you
Right.
can't escape it, Cindy. You can't escape getting body shamed because you can't be looking like Martha Stewart, who's like 80-something years old.
My hero.
So
That's so. No, but that Madonna picture.
she
was,
looks that good because she kept all that weight off in prison.
It,
Changed her whole diet. So now- that's, I mean,
I think Snoop Dogg's had a big influence on her.
yeah. Her
And-
TikToks are great.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because she does all those
I'm not
cooking
seeing them.
TikToks, and they're really great. Like,
Are they real?
Oh, yeah, they're real.
real. How to make something?
it's just
okay.
a shorter version of like her YouTube channel. So you
Right.
don't have to sit there and the way she talks though is pretty hypnotic. Where it's almost like that stern teacher you have, but
Mm-hmm.
also very caring at the same time. Where she's trying to teach you how to cut, the pastry, but she's like, but don't forget, you could cut yourself, so don't be an idiot or something, that kind of stuff.
Well, she's so much better than I can't remember the lady's name. that
Rachel
was-
Ray.
No, this is
Emerald.
older lady.
Oh yeah,
The one that talked like this.
oh.
And, look what we're doing today.
Yeah.
We're going to do this.
we're doing a
And-
pot pie,
Yes, you'll
a
love
shepherd's
it.
pie.
Yes, you'll love it. Now,
Oh,
don't. And during
Meryl
that
Streep
time,
played her in some movie. Played that actual TV personality lady. What is her name? Because she pioneered the whole women on television kind of thing in England. I think it was England. Wasn't
What's
it?
her name?
I don't know. It's so impactful that I know.
That's so weird
But
because
I think
uh,
Martha Stewart is
Dan
a great
Aykroyd
host.
would play her on SNL.
Yeah.
He would play her, and
Here, I'll look it up for you.
And remember when this came into being in the 70s, that when you cut into a piece of fruit or cut into a vegetable, that it's hurting them, and they're feeling that.
Julia Child.
Julia Childs, that's it.
Is that
That's
it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. But
Oh, look at her. Oh, I love it.
she was wonderful. She was English. She was
Yeah,
English.
was it here though when they did it, or
But-
was it in the UK? Yeah, she's an American cooking teacher, so it was one of the first cooking shows here in America. It wasn't just
Right. That's so great. But do
because
you remember?
the UK would not allow a woman cooking show. That's basically what
Do you remember when they said you put the knife into the vegetables, it hurts them, and that they're probably crying, and that was a big deal. And so Dan Aykroyd went in there and he cut it a little bit, and it's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And he said, "Don't worry
Imagine
about
that.
the screaming. It's okay. They're fine.
They like it.
They like it. It's fine." But it was great. I mean, SNL was so good at one point. There's just windows of time of the different comedians and stuff they had on that was really good. And
It's not bad today, but it's not great. It's not like you're gonna sit down and watch. They might as well just produce YouTube clips.
that's really the fun thing, to go back and watch the
Yeah.
clip, just the clip.
That's what
of
I'm saying.
it.
I think that's pretty much what they should be doing.
Yeah, and then when they would try and get so creative, and it was just so stupid, and the people, I mean, the kids.
Yeah, I mean the TV
didn't
market's
like
so
it.
strange today because it's like the dominating channels like CBS. If you look at all their programming, the demographic is for 50 or older, and SNL has
That's
always originally been for like
1849.
18 to older.
That's the perfect 1849.
But like to 18-year-olds and stuff aren't watching SNL on NBC at 11 o'clock here in Texas.
No,
I think it's
SNL
11 or is it midnight here? When do they air it?
SNL 10:30
10:30 here.
on Saturday. Yeah.
So, okay.
But the kids are just way too slow, the whole thing's very slow. They like practical jokers.
Well, yeah. Do you? Yeah. Well, that's what's. I was thinking about comedy in that fashion because do you think the younger crowd doesn't associate that to being good comedy, sketch comedy? Because there's certain sketch comedy that's really popular that has nothing to do with SNL style. It's like, you have Keenan and Peele. I think that's how you say it. Like
now, they like them. The kids like them, and if SNL comes on, they just think, "Oh, that is so stupid. Why do people think that's funny? It's not funny."
Well, now it's almost like it's a avenue just to become a movie star. It's like your first step is to get on SNL,
and be
work
the
there
host.
for like 3 years.
Work
There, and then after a while you'll get an HBO special, and you're a good actress. And there you go.
You go to movies like Chevy Chase. It was funny to see. You always wanted to see whoever you saw on TV whatever they played on TV. You wanted to see them in the movies. You wanted to see them away from that, thinking that the movie would really show who they were. That was kind of dumb. But it's like back in the 50s when Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz made a movie, and it was going to be in color. You got to see their flesh, the flesh.
That
color
scare you?
of it. Did it scare me?
Yeah,
No.
sounded like it did.
No, it was just very interesting. You felt like that's what they look like. That's really what they look like. Because all you saw was a little black and white TV like that, and that's all you'd seen up at that point. But it was fun, and I didn't read a lot of the magazines like the groups, the music groups. That's how everybody knew what was going on and they could talk about it. And so a lot of times I didn't even know what they looked like. You were just listening to them. You just liked the way they sounded and all. And that's, then if you saw them, sometimes it was disappointing. But it was, that was during that time. We didn't have that kind of immediate access to visuals and stuff like that. I couldn't Google anybody. There was no Googling.
That's too bad.
No Googling in the 50s.
How many times a week do you Google people who you think might be dead?
That might be dead?
Yeah. Like, I wonder
Like
if they're still
friends?
alive. You never do that with like an actor or a writer?
I should be. With my age, I should be before I call somebody or before I try and reconnect with some friend or something. I need to probably.
No,
find out.
I think once a week I look somebody up because it's like, I wonder how old that person is now. Like Mick Jagger, is he dead yet? And it's like, because I know he's getting there. Because I think they're doing their farewell tour.
They've been doing a farewell tour
for
for
like
a long
20
time. It's like, because it's like, we're banking on him making it through this.
I was listening to an interview with Edward Norton, and he was talking about the actor. He was talking about Hugh Jackman and, not Hugh Jackman, not Wolverine. What's the other one? Gene Hackman.
Grant?
Gene
Oh,
Hackman.
Gene
Very
Hackman.
similar
Okay.
G's. But I was like, man, I haven't seen Gene Hackman in a movie in, I don't know, 20 years, I feel like. I have not, when's the last time you saw Gene Hackman in a movie? And so I had to look it up. I was like, did he die? And that's why, or did he get dementia?
Did he leave? No,
Well, he said he retired. But yeah, I mean, he's not dead. He's 93 years old.
93. Gene Hackman's 93.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I always have to look it up because I'm like, this doesn't really make sense. The universe usually has a Gene Hackman movie like every 5 years.
Right.
And yeah, his let me see if I can find his last movie.
Yeah.
His last movie, guess what year?
1978.
His last movie he did?
I don't know. I just 1978.
Looking at it, it was 2004 was the last movie he was in.
What was it called?
Welcome to Mooseport.
Oh, yes.
He was in...
I love that movie.
He was on a television show as a narrator in 2017. But yeah.
Welcome to Mooseport.
But see,
That's with
in my
Raymond.
mind, I don't think of that. Like, I think of Gene Hackman like in a movie 2 years ago. You know, like I could have sworn he was in a movie.
And he looked good in that movie. He played
most,
a love interest.
Most actors his age are doing all those terrible direct to DVD, like Danny Glover.
Right.
His past career for the past 10 years has just been like terrible movies.
It doesn't matter. They have some weird stuff. And my grandchildren will introduce me to these series. Grandma, you guys see this series. This series is so good. And it was the one that where I wish I hadn't even started this because I can't remember the name of the series, but it was so scary and haunting. It was like, y'all shouldn't be watching stuff like this. This is too strange. And so then you'd see these actors in other roles like commercials and things like that, and it just ruins it for them. They should never come out. Once they do that kind of stuff, they shouldn't come out and do commercials. I got really upset whenever I'd see somebody and I had them romantically in this title role, and then they would come do something stupid, and you're like, no, you're not any good anymore. I don't like that.
Yeah, man.
That's a woman's
Know your audience.
perspective. Yes, right. Know your audience. That's true.
Well, it's
You
kind of
should
like
know
The
your
Rock.
audience.
I think there was a joke I was reading that, like, The Rock has a clause in his contract where he can never be beaten.
He can never be what?
Like, beaten.
Oh, beat.
Like, he never lose.
Oh, that's
So,
the
like-
clause in your
Like, so that's why I think that was kind of a joke. Because I was listening to something about Fast and the Furious when he went on with Vin Diesel, and
Yeah,
like Vin Diesel
right.
had the same clause. So when they finally fought each other, they're like, "Oh, we can't. Both of them can't lose. So how do we make them both win?" And they're trying to figure it out.
They
But yeah.
become friends at the
But have you
end.
noticed that? I mean, like, I believed it. I was like,
Yeah.
I could totally believe that because you never see him get like
Totally.
'cause
that's his
he's never the
image.
underdog. He's never, beaten down where he has to like punch up. It's like, no, he's always punching down pretty much.
That's right. That's a very good point. Very good point. But Van Diesel is coming out with this new movie.
And he never kisses anybody.
He never kisses.
He might kiss
anybody.
someone on the cheek or something, but it's never like
Yeah,
it's like a love scene. I don't think I've ever seen like
slobber kiss.
or not even that. Like he never really has a strong love interest. He might have like, oh, I like her, but it's never at the end of the movie. You just see his arm around her.
It's always a Disney.
So you don't
type
really,
of-
you don't really know if like,
Yeah.
oh, are they dating or are they going out after this, or is it just like, I'm tired, I gotta lean on you, I'm the Rock.
There's- He'd be the type that would be perfect for the '50s movies where wouldn't have to kiss or do anything. They would just take the camera and move it to lace in front of a window, and the wind blowing the lace up, and you knew what had happened. What went down. So, and you realize that in the movies in the 50s, 40s, 50s, they never could be on the same bed. They had to have one
Yeah.
leg off the bed, or there's
Yeah, I know.
it's in there.
That's why, what was that original joke back in the days, like the walls of Jericho have fallen
Yes,
from
yeah.
it happened one night, or
It happened one
it
night.
could happen one night?
No, it happened one night.
Yeah.
With
I don't know who's in
Clark
it.
Gable.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like a big deal.
Oh, and he took his shirt off.
Yeah.
And he had a wife beater on. It was like, well, nobody called it that at that time, I think, but it was.
Well, people
That's really
compromise their morals when they can make money. So I think that's when they realize how many people bought wife beaters after seeing that movie.
Uh-huh.
So they're like, oh, hey, we can get these movie stars to do certain things, and if they're wearing certain things,
Right.
and people will buy it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. It's like in hairstyles and things like that that the women had. But it was such a simpler time that kind of stuff could take off like fire. But right now,
it's almost like people were occupied with other things. So because like watching TV really wasn't the primary passage of time.
because it didn't come on till 4:30.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, oh, I might have seen it, might have not.
Yeah, and it was interesting that the people that were on those TV channels got so popular, and everybody knew them because they only had like 2 channels, 3 channels, and that was it. And so when I started doing 13, there was 13, 11, 2, and 8, and so PBS.
I mean, cable really changed the world.
Everything, and we knew it was coming. At 13, they were putting out bulletins that cable was coming, and there was going to be a big deal about it, and what cable was going to bring, and it was just education. It's all they talked about was education. It was going to be an educational thing, and don't worry about it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And so when I left 13, I started working for Time Warner. A lot of my friends would go like, "You're working for cable? cable's nothing. You were on one of the main stations in Houston, and you're going to cable. And it wasn't maybe a year or so I was hiring those people to come do production for me. And because we had so many, our requests for commercials became so popular because it was so much cheaper to advertise on cable.
Yeah.
But a lot of people
Do you
didn't have it.
remember not so long ago that when like high definition television came into play, and then they made an announcement where like, hey, your antennas are not going to work
That's right.
unless you have this
Yeah.
type of converter, all this kind of stuff, and how like the local governments were trying to figure this out. And then it's like, do we provide the box, or do you call the cable company and they provide you the box, or do you go to Radio Shack that no longer exists?
When Time Warner came in and started laying the cables and stuff, they were laying cables from your television to a remote that you had, and you could do interactive. What they wanted to do was interactive communication.
Yeah.
They wanted you to immediately vote for that program, say what you think of that program, and they were going to let it be seen. And it was such a flop, and they couldn't get it, working. And
Now you can just text a number to
people
vote for
to do
your
it.
American Idol.
Yeah, exactly. And they thought that would be the humdinger of the thing. So that was
They're just
a mix.
They're just getting ready for the public execution stuff,
Oh, they wanted to see
like
so
old
you could
Caesar
see.
style, Caesar
Right.
or whatever. It's like thumbs up, thumbs
that's
down.
Hey, that's a good.
Because I always like those post-apocalyptic movies that have a TV element. It's like, welcome to the Thunderdome, and it's like broadcasted, and it's kind of like, was that an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Runaway Man, or
Yeah,
Running Man?
Running
or-
Man.
But it's like,
Man.
I always go, I wonder if we're really ever gonna have that, where it's that ridiculous. It's like Rollerball, for example, or something.
Yes.
You're just kind of like, I guess we really are gonna get to that. Our society's gonna get to that point where we're just murdering people on
We're
television.
overrun with so many people. We got
So
to
many
start
problems.
culling them out.
Yeah, so many problems in this world. You know how we occupy the citizens? We show people murdering each other. It's like, I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I could see it being local, but not
Mm-hmm.
televised. Like you go to the local arena.
Right.
Like I can see that.
But remember the death videos.
That became like a what do you call it?
was
Like an urban
underground.
myth kind of thing where you can search the internet for these crazy videos.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they had videos that they would tell you where to go get them, and that you could go
I
to
don't know, yeah.
different places
Okay.
to buy the videos to show all these different death scenes.
Really?
Yes, and it was
That's terrible.
horrible. Although it was like when
Because the VHS stuff was always funny to me.
funny in what way?
Well, it's just like how you, like, for example, I was listening to a deal with South Park.
Mm-hmm.
And the creators of South Park, it's a television show for a cartoon, adult cartoon, that's been on the air for, I don't know, 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they were talking about how they first got started was they made a short with their cartoon. And somehow they made a bunch of copies on VHS. And then apparently George Clooney got a copy of it and loved it so much that he tried to get, like, he apparently copied it over and over and gave it to all his friends. And yeah, I mean, like, it became like an underground sensation among Hollywood people because it's like, look how funny this is.
Well, what
And
happened
then-
as well was the
You talking about the Ring, the movie?
no, I was gonna say became like an underground hit was the video that had preachers and had all different people that were very classy people passing gas, and it was
What are you talking about?
It was a video. It was a VHS video.
But like I'm saying
was
is,
so-
some guy in a shady coat goes, you need to check this VHS out.
No, you couldn't check it out. This is stuff that people had and that they would make copies of and they give to different people.
Yeah.
And so,
So you couldn't
at
want, like-
school,
yeah.
you got one and then you put this in there and we just cry laughing because it was so perfect. That eventually that made it to TV. I mean, people
Okay, yeah.
played that on TV. But it was mostly preachers and it'd be every time they'd get up or they'd move.
Yeah,
or
I
anything.
know what you're talking about.
You seen them? Have you
Yeah,
seen
so I know what you're talking about. Like,
Okay. It was hilarious. I love that.
but I just like the idea of people copying VHSs, like spending the time to do that.
Yeah.
And then, like, I got to share this with my friends. Because it's kind of like, I always loved when growing up with the cassette tapes and, like, how you had to record a song. You had to be, like, right on the thing. And, like, yes. And then, like, especially when we're trying to record it from the radio and stuff like that.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you'd hear, Richard, come out and get the trash. You know, and they never could get clean recordings because there was always some noise.
Yeah.
The dog would bark or stuff would happen.
But now
It
it's
was
just everything's instant and digital, and it looks
Yeah.
beautiful. It's 4K.
We've come a long way.
It's everything.
baby. Yeah. But I can't. That's why I appreciate you so much, what you do
You want me to zoom in?
and how you can do this. No.
Is that where you're going with this?
No.
Oh,
No.
I thought you wanted me to zoom in here.
Zoom in. What did you zoom in?
On you.
You're not using that camera.
Oh,
are you? Don't you dare use that camera. If I see the red light go on.
Well, that's what I love with Armando. It's he moves around so much as he moves in front of the camera, and he's like, "You showed my bald spot." I'm like, "You're the one that moved in front of the camera."
You know, I had wanted to take a break so I could go out. Let me tell you what's out in the lobby. Have you seen
There's people out there.
have you seen the visitors area in the lobby? It's right around here. And they're giving away for free. People coming from out of town and they want to come in and get maps and things like
Yeah.
that and find out all kind of stuff. I
Oh,
said,
you mean like
I
the
asked-
Visitors Bureau? It's like merch.
yes,
Okay.
but they're not selling it. It's free for
Yeah, you know what?
everybody.
You know, it's funny. I noticed an item that would be perfect for you. It's those keychains
Yes.
that you bring on boats.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think you need that because you need something really big on your keys because you always forget your keys or lose your keys.
Yes. That is
And-
so true.
Yeah, I think that's something we need for you.
I can't wait till the day that they slit your wrist and they implant. You know, all you need is that implant.
Yeah.
And you can scan it and you can do all that and vote with it and the whole thing. I think that's where we need to go. That would be perfect. And then
I don't think we need to go that way at all.
Oh no, then you don't lose it, unless somebody kidnaps you and then cuts your
Yeah.
and take. No, they won't. No, that would be great.
That would be scary
love that.
because they just track everything you do. Because what will happen is society will become dependent on using that scan capability on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get in your car, scan. If you want to go into this door, scan. If you want to, purchase this hamburger, scan.
True, and when you die, they'd probably come in and cut your arm off and take that out and steal it, and then they'd be using, they would
I
want to
guess.
use your arm.
I mean,
to do it.
there's always gonna be criminals.
Element of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you have to think of that first and then kind of work backwards on it. But that would just be very convenient for me, someone like me, and the go find my phone thing or go find my purse or whatever. I could never find what has the go find mine on it to find my whatever I lost, and so it's
Say that again.
okay.
I can never go find mine when I lose my go find mine on my phone.
The go find my
The
phone,
app.
or-
The app.
yeah.
It's an
yeah.
app.
Okay, it's an app on there, but it's on
Yeah.
my phone, and I can't find my phone. I can't find.
You go
anything
to the
else.
website. You can log in on a website.
This is everything. This is my
Well, that's-
computer.
Then whose fault is that? That's not their fault.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's my fault I lose my phone.
If you want to hear something idiotic that
Do you want me to go
Apple
get this
did,
stuff?
Apple did, is so I have the original headphones, like the Bluetooth
Yeah, the
ones.
kids have that. Yeah.
So they have a Find My Headphone feature, and they never implemented a way to really find it, meaning like to make a noise. Because I saw they were releasing the new ones, and those have the capability of making a noise. So look how small this is. And so imagine it's somewhere in your house, and you're like, find it. And it says, oh, it's in the house. That's all I could tell you. It's like, it's in the house.
Okay, well, that way you know that you didn't leave it at
I know, but it's like
someplace.
halfway feature. It's like,
No.
oh, I know. It says play sound. I'm trying to play a sound,
Oh,
and it
that's-
doesn't make a sound because it's in the head. It plays the sound in the headphones. So how loud do you think that's gonna be?
It's
So as I was saying, I was like, what's going on with it? Who decided to do
that's
this?
what you lost. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that
It's
would
kind of funny. I kind of laughed, but then apparently because they announced as a new feature, I was like, that should have been a feature in the first one. Like,
Well, people are getting scared about AI. So, to me, the scariest was that they named Kamala Harris the AI.
yeah, didn't we
person?
didn't we talk about that? I felt like we did. Or you and I had a conversation because I was trying to understand the history of vice presidents, and it's kind of like I feel like in the past 2 presidencies, the vice president is now just in charge of stuff that no one wants to do.
Yeah,
It's like hey, we have this AI thing. Who do you think could like really just needs to do it? Like we need somebody. Like, well, the vice president don't do anything.
Who is the most artificial intelligence
no.
that we have?
But what I'm
In the
saying,
cabinet.
I don't, not even that. It's like, why would this even come up to be an option for the vice president? Wouldn't there just be another sector of the government be like, hey, we need to have an oversight committee of AI?
Right. But
Like-
you put someone in charge that
I know, but you never make
Knew
like
it.
an announcement. You never but you don't choose the vice president unless it's something where she gets a badge or something for
right.
her resume. Like I don't really get it.
Well, it's
You think she got on the phone and goes, "Can y'all do me a solid? I want to be in charge of that because I'm going to get such great publicity because I know exactly." I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like I bet she got a phone call and was like, well, "What am I doing?" It's like, "Oh, we just got to name somebody, and it's going to be you because you're not doing anything." Well, I'm okay. I'm here to serve the public.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what because you think she
You
has.
want me in charge of AI? How do you pronounce that now?
Yeah, what does that mean? What does that stand
Yeah,
for?
that's what it's bizarre because you think that it would be something that you had, an Elon Musk type
Well,
person.
I think I read a joke was probably what happened was AI was in control of the decision, and so AI chose her to be in charge.
The algorithm got into you and
Yeah.
crushed you. I think she was trying to explain algorithms.
I mean, people are. The scary thing about AI is it's always going to be evolving, in a sense of like we're in charge, right? So it's like this year this is how we're going to decide it. The next year this other person comes in and that's how they decide it. Next
Right.
thing you know, you got Skynet, and it's like we don't know how we got here.
Yeah, but you got to go back and read Tower of Babel in the Bible.
Like the story of it, yeah, I know all about it.
You know all about that?
Know all about it.
Okay, all right. So God's fear was what? What was God's fear about the Tower of Babel?
People talking to one another.
Well, because they all got together and agreed on something
Yeah.
and thought, and that type of power, they thought that they wanted to reach the gods, but in doing that, they would then take the power of that if they felt like they could
I
do
understand.
that.
Yeah.
So he confused their language. I thought that was just brilliant.
It's a great practical joke.
Yeah, it was like so. All of a sudden, they're putting the bricks
if that
in.
imagine that decision. Why don't you just kill everybody if you're like really that afraid?
It wasn't. I mean, he wasn't afraid. Of course, it wasn't.
Oh,
at any
he just
time,
wanted
could get
to
rid of it.
prolong it. He's
No,
like they're
he's
eventually
just-
gonna get up here, so we got to prolong it though. Not yet. It's too soon.
Let's see if they can get past our first layer.
Yeah.
But I think that it was just it was the most interesting story I thought.
Sounds made up.
It wasn't made up.
No, I'm saying it sounds made up.
Of course, because it's
Because it's
so
like to me, it
strange.
sounds like a children's story to explain why people speak different languages. And it's like
Right.
an easy thing to understand. It's like, when did this all start? Why?
You should have heard our conversation about the kids now coming into. They've been baptized. They go to Sunday school and all that, but now they're getting an age of going. What makes you think that all of this is real? That's in the Bible.
Yeah.
Why don't you believe that?
I
You know,
know.
As
Well,
well as
we all grew up.
and we should question, and we should search, do research
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yes, but they're coming up with some stuff, and they're going like, "Who told you that?" Of course, at school, this is what the kids are saying they believe.
All right, Mama Bear.
And TikTok and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. But we have such interesting conversations in
Yeah.
there. And Samuel said, the problem with you is that you never can admit that you're wrong. I went, what? I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'm just not wrong that often, so that you hear that come out of my mouth.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, Cindy. You're pretty much wrong every time we talk about anything.
Now, and then Sam, my husband, comes in, and we're on the way to church. We get into a conversation, and he said, can you not just admit that you're wrong? Don't you do you understand that I have apologized to you so many times, and on one hand, you can probably count how many times you've apologized to me. And I said, but that doesn't mean that I was wrong because I didn't apologize. I was trying to make you understand that what I'm saying is the right way to do it. And he said, but I'm much more flexible than you are. And I went, oh, brother, why don't I keep notes? He keeps notes of everything, but I don't keep notes so that I could go back and say, in 1975, you said, but it was terrible. So Samuel and them were starting to question stuff and starting to talk back, early, I'm an adult now, so you just have to just let me be. Don't coddle me. Don't make me feel like I have to have you around to know what to do. It's terrible when they get to be that age because you lose control. It's not that I'm a control freak or anything.
That's why we should conscript the kids and put them in the army.
That would be a good idea. Just do a total boot camp.
What does the Israel do? What do they call it?
What did Israel do?
Yeah, like you have to serve for 2 years. Yeah, by like the age of right when you hit 18 or something like that.
Yeah, you have to.
Like you have to.
Right.
Unless you can get like passes where you don't have to do it for right now, but you have to do it eventually.
But it scared me when they.
I think South Korea does it too.
That scared me though when Chad was of age and here comes a war. And they were going to start doing the draft again. I don't
think they can get away with the draft again.
I don't
think they can get away with that.
That would be.
There's too many people who want to like protest on everything. So it's
true. But I remember the college students taking over the colleges because
they went to college.
Protesting the war. Well, they were going to college. They didn't want to be drafted, and so they were taking over the offices and stuff, and to be the protest. And that was a big deal.
Or you just flee to Canada.
That's what I was going to. I was going to go to Canada before Chad could go in the army. I did not want him to go. I understood why people didn't want to do that, but I had the best text messaging with Bob today.
We got to wrap it up, Cindy.
Oh, Raz, I wanted to share
the text. You get 2 minutes. Go.
Well, he said, give me your address because Xander wants to send you a card about his graduation. So I gave him the address, and then I said, so why don't you bring the card by when you come on and be on the show? And then he said, okay, this is what I want to talk about if I come on the show. People that you ask to give you their address and they don't tell you what city they live in and where you live. Do you live in Montgomery, Willis? What do you live in? And I went back and looked at, I forgot to put Willis. So anyway, I didn't do that. And he goes, he said something about, I just can't believe, you do this. So I want to talk about that on the show. And I said, you know what? I feel like I'm just a continual feeding of fodder to anything that you want to make fun of me. And you love that for your amusement. He said, yeah, that's it. You got it. So I thought he was going to come on like this week, but he said, I can't come to June. In the middle of June, I'll be on your show. And I said, okay. Well, then for that, could you tell people that he's big now. He's just like everywhere. He's slammed. I said, would you tell people that you'd never gotten there if you hadn't done the Cindy Cochran show? And I said, just do that for me. And he goes, I said, is that too much? Huh? And he goes, yeah, a tad. And so he's not going to do that. But he will be on in the middle of June.
Okay, who's going to be on tomorrow?
Okay, tomorrow we have Tracy Walton.
Minutes, just so you know.
What?
That whole story was longer than 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, it didn't make any difference either. Tracy Walton's going to be on, and she's with Clean Slate Texas, and we're going to be talking to her. It's a very interesting idea, and see how people that may be getting out of prison and serve their time and all that, how they can get a job and get back to normal. But anyway, it's going to be on. I love you. Thank you, first responders. We love you.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays.